What's up, guys? How's it going? Finally getting around to making another tip video. This time it is in the San Diego Chargers playbook. I decided to go ahead and do the doubles week formation, the gun doubles week, because it has some cool plays in it, and it's very simple, but can be very effective. So let's just jump right into it. I'll go over the run game first. It's got, I think, three run plays. You've got the halfback delay, which is a halfback draw. You've got the halfback base, and then the inside zone. And the play that I like the most out of those three is the inside zone. So usually I would come out in that if you don't have custom audibles, because the down run is the halfback draw, which I'm not a fan of. And so I'd like to come out in the inside zone and have that at my disposal if I like the look that the defense is giving me, so I can go ahead and run that. And I'll run it a few times for you. As you can see, it's a very effective run. You get nice blocking right there. Didn't really have to do anything fancy and got an easy 7 to 8 yards. Right here, they're kind of stacked on the line, so it'll be kind of tough right there. Still made a nice move and was able to get 5 or 6 yards. So it's a really effective run play. You get really nice blocking. If there's not enough linemen up front, you get double teams, and then they'll sift off and move up to the second level. A lot of times you'll just get one-on-one blocks, and you'll just be able to find a hole and go ahead and get through it. Really effective run. And so I would like to establish that. And then once my opponent starts respecting that, then you can kind of branch out to some of the other stuff out of the formation. I'll go ahead and go over the quick audibles, the formation audibles. So the quick pass audible is slants, which is a decent passing concept. It's good if your opponent runs a lot of man-to-man. It's not something I run very often, but right there against man-to-man, you're able to get a nice, easy 7 to 8 yards. And that's if you get tackled right away. Sometimes you'll get really good separation, and who knows, if you make a guy miss and you can get upfield, you can get really big gains. Right there, the pressure got to me. I wasn't able to get the ball up in time. I didn't have anybody open. The deep pass is, I think it's called ends. Yeah, ends Y corner. Let me get it set up to where it's not against goal line. Right here. Okay, so the deep pass is ends Y corner. So you've got double in routes on the left, you've got a corner route from the tight end, and then a fade from the far right receiver. And generally, the only thing I like to do is I'll refade Keenan Allen, because I just like him on the. When you refade him, he kind of fades towards the sideline, which I like that angle better for user catching. It's just personal preference. You really don't have to do it. But pretty much, if it's man-to-man, you want to read. You want to look for Gates on his corner route or Royal on his in route. If it's zone, then you either want to hit Royal on his in, Woodhead on the out, or you have the user catch to Keenan Allen, and then as the final read, you have Malcolm Floyd coming over the middle of the field. So right there, I saw no one was in the flat and was able to hit Woodhead. And if I didn't try to get fancy, I probably could have made that guy miss and got upfield and got some more yards. Pretty effective play right there, man-to-man. Gates, especially if you have someone as good as Gates at tight end, generally they'll get really good separation against man-to-man. So that's an easy pass to complete. Let's see. Right there is against zone. And if I didn't get a kind of a bad animation, I probably could have gotten upfield a lot quicker with Royal. Probably could have scored right there. But as you guys can see, it's a pretty effective passing play. You attack all areas of the field, and it can be tough to defend if you're making the right reads. As I said, the run audible is the halfback delay, which I'm not a fan of. I would run the inside zone over that all the time. And then the play action is PA double cross, which I really like this play, mainly because of the you got the deep cross by Gates, and then you have the post by Keenan Allen. And so the one adjustment I make is I fade Malcolm Floyd for the user catch. And then it's personal preference. You can either leave the play action or cancel it by blocking Woodhead, or you can cancel it in the play once you snap the ball by just pressing the right trigger or R2 on PS4, and that'll stop the play action early. So pretty much if it's man or zone, you want to look for Gates over the middle. If it's man, a lot of times Gates will be open or Allen will be open. If it's zone, a lot of times you want to look for Gates to find a window. You have the one-on-one with Floyd, and then Allen coming across at the end of the play. Royal's really just kind of there to occupy that flat so that Gates can possibly be open once he reaches the left sideline. So I'll go ahead and show this to you guys. And that's kind of what I was talking about. Phillip Rivers overthrew it, but as you guys can see, Antonio Gates was wide open, and Royal did a good job. I'll show you guys that in instant replay. Royal does a good job of holding this flat defender right here. If Royal wasn't there, this guy would have sank back to like around here, and Gates wouldn't have been open right there. And so that's pretty much the only reason I leave that route on the play. I could always put him on like an in or a drag and actually have him as like a passing option, but I'd rather him just clear out that little area for Antonio Gates. And right there, it was kind of actually, I mean, Phillip Rivers kind of overthrew it, but I feel like Gates could have caught that. But you guys know what I mean. He was pretty wide open. And then show you this play a couple more times, just so you guys can kind of see the routes. Right there, if you see the one-on-one and you have someone out there like Malcolm Floyd, don't be afraid to go up and user catch it and abuse the one-on-one matchups. Let's see if I can hit in. Right there was man-to-man, and Antonio Gates will generally always get good inside separation on his man. It's a really quick cutting crossing route. And right there, it was also man-to-man, and Keenan Allen generally, if you have someone who can run good routes, which Keenan Allen's a pretty good route runner, he'll make a sharp cut towards the middle of the field, and he'll be able to get some good separation against man-to-man more times than not. So that's the inside zone and the quick audibles. There's a few other plays that I like out of this formation that kind of complements those plays. The first play is corner strike, and pretty much on corner strike I leave everything the same. My first read is always Woodhead in the flat. If he's open, go ahead and throw it. If it's zone, you want to look for, as I said, Woodhead in the flat, or you have Royal coming underneath, and then if Royal's not open, then you have to read the flat to the corner. So you could pretty much pick whatever side you want. If the flat's open, go ahead and take it. So that's Woodhead or Gates. And then if the defender comes down to guard the flat, generally that'll mean the corner route being run by either Allen or Floyd will be open behind it. It gets man-to-man. You can pretty much pick whatever you want. Royal will get a good beat on his man over the middle of the field, or you can wait for Floyd or Allen to cut towards the sideline, and generally they'll always get a nice separation against man-to-man. So go ahead and run this for you guys. Right there, I actually threw that super late, but I had Woodhead wide open in the flats. Don't be afraid to take the flats if your opponent's giving you the flats. You can get really good gains, and it's something that a lot of people forget about. So right there, I'll go ahead and show you guys that in instant replay. Pretty much my thought process here was I look for Woodhead first of all in the flat, and I see that he's covered. I see that there's a defender right there. I could throw it, and I could complete this pass, but if I did complete it, I would instantly get hit and get nothing. And so I just waited for him to come down and guard Woodhead, and then just threw this underneath to Floyd as he undercut the deep corner. I knew that the corner wasn't going to be able to run up in time and make a play on the ball, and so that was an easy 15-yard completion. So that's pretty much how you have to read this play. Right there, once again, the flat was wide open, and you just kind of get upfield, try to make somebody miss, and see what you can get. Let me see if I can throw some other route. Right there, I had Gates wide open, but I was trying to throw the other side, the Allen corner route, but he was covered. But you really just have to take what the defense gives you. Right there, Allen was wide open. So that kind of shows just kind of how to run this play and how to read that play. It's a very effective play that you can mix up. It's not something I would like call a base play, because if you run that too much, you kind of have to be careful, because sometimes throwing the corner routes can be tricky. Sometimes the defender will act like he's going to guard the flat, and then at the last second he'll like run back and pick it off. So you have to be really careful about throwing those corner routes. But it's definitely a good play to have in your back pocket. You've got a slip screen to the left, which is nice. You've got the slot post play, which I actually like. Pretty much I leave almost everything the same. Pretty much the only difference I would do, or the only change I would make, I don't know what I'm saying. The only change I would make would be I would fade Floyd for the one-on-one, and pretty much I would read Woodhead in the flat. You've got Gates underneath, Royal cutting over the middle, and then you've got the two fades on the outsides for the one-on-one matchups, if you like it. Right there, I should have just thrown one of the one-on-ones, but I tried to wait for Royal to get open, cutting over the middle of the field, and the pressure got to me. Let's see. right there, one-on-one, especially with someone as big and dominant as Malcolm Floyd. Take that all day if they're going to give you the one-on-one. Right here, it looks like it's going to be a safety blitz, so I'm going to try to hit Royal over the middle, and that's what ended up happening. And so, especially against man-to-man, it's really risky to run man against this formation because you have a lot of routes that cut over the middle of the field that get good inside positioning against man and can lead to really big gains. So your opponent almost has, I'm not going to say they have to play zone, but if they're playing man-to-man, they really have to make really smart adjustments to take away all the different routes, because you can throw this play has the slot post, and then you've got the play action play with the deep cross by Gates, and then the post by Allen, and then I just showed you guys corner strike, which has the corner routes that can beat man-to-man to the outside. So there's just a lot of routes that beat man-to-man, a lot of different areas of the field, so it's just tough to defend if your opponent wants to call a lot of man. Let's see right there, Phillip Rivers overthrew him, but I was trying to wait for him to clear the defense. But as you guys could see, he was pretty wide open. Phillip Rivers just made a bad throw. So that's just something to take note of. Sometimes you have to be really patient and wait for him to clear the defense. Another play is the flanker screen that I like. There's pretty much two ways that I run this play. If it's press coverage like it is right now, if the cornerback's like right up on the line of scrimmage, it's kind of risky to just run the screen as is, because sometimes he'll get behind the blockers and can kind of make a play to try and pick the ball off. So the way I like to run it, actually I probably wouldn't run the screen if that were the case, but if you really wanted to, the way I found most effective is to swing Woodhead to the right and then just streak Allen. This works sometimes. I'm not going to say it works every time. Sometimes Woodhead gets tackled in the backfield, or sometimes you don't even complete the pass, but I have had instances whenever I was messing with it in practice before this video where I did bust out big gains running it like this. So it's just something to kind of try out, see if you like it. Right there, got pretty good blocking and was able to get up the sideline. And so that's kind of the best case scenario. Sometimes a defender will be there in the backfield and you won't really be able to throw that, or if you do throw it, you'll get hit immediately and lose some yards. Right here, if the defender above Allen is off the line of scrimmage, you just run it as is. And generally what I'll do, okay, so he was on a contain. So if he's on a contain, it'll pretty much shut the screen down, since that's pretty much how you stop screens, is you contain your defensive line, and the defensive linemen are able to get out there and make a play. But if he's off like this, and they're not containing, and they're not expecting the screen, you can just throw it as is and try to get upfield. And see, Keenan Allen's not the fastest guy on the planet. If you want to, and you're using the Chargers, you can swap Royal over there. It's kind of a tell. If your opponent notices, they might think something's up. Sometimes, if they're that attentive, like, I don't think many people would actually notice and pay attention to that. So you could probably get away with doing it, but it's just something to keep in mind. Your opponent might catch on if you do it like every time you run the screen. So go ahead and try the Woodhead way this time. Right there, got pretty good blocking again. So we're having some pretty good success with that version. Let's see if I can get a good play with the normal screen. Yeah, right there, got pretty good blocking. Try to make a move, try to get upfield. Obviously, it works better if you have someone faster out there, but that's pretty much how I like to call that screen in the two different scenarios. Also, I'd call that, if your opponent likes to blitz a lot, that's something that you can run a good bit to kind of get them out of that aggressive defense and give you some breathing room. And then the last play that I like to call out of this formation is curl flat. And the main reason is because of that ankle route by Woodhead. And I actually leave everything the same except I fade Keenan Allen. I pretty much only read the left side of the field like Gates. Unless he's like super wide open for whatever reason, for some reason, I wouldn't really throw to Gates in the flat. Pretty much you're always reading the left side of the field. So always read the flat to Royal, and then the curl to Floyd, and then the angle route to Woodhead. And then your kind of last ditch read is Keenan Allen on his fade route on the backside. So go ahead and run this. Right there, you've got Royal wide open in the flat, and he just didn't want to catch the ball. So that's a great way to start it off. So let's see if I can get a completion here. Right there, Royal in the flat, got like 2 yards. You really have to take what the defense gives you out of this play, because if you throw a curl route with a defender anywhere nearby, it could definitely be a pick six. So be very careful throwing curls. And then obviously, Woodhead's actually a good catcher out the backfield, but you do have to be careful throwing that angle route. If it gets jumped, it can also lead into a pick six. So just be very careful when running this play. And that's a reason I really like this play. If your opponent plays man, Woodhead just completely torches his man because generally he's being covered by a linebacker out the backfield. And even zone, it's kind of hard to cover all three routes on the left side of the field if your opponent's calling zone. It's right there. Woodhead got open, was able to get 9 or 10 yards. Let's see if I can try to throw the curl route for you guys. It's kind of tricky throwing the curl route. Okay, right there. So when you throw the curl route, you always want to pass lead it down. And the reason you want to pass lead it down is so that a defender has that much less of a window to kind of jump the route. So right here, as you can see, he was pretty wide open, so I actually didn't really have to do it. But in the case that sometimes this defender will kind of step up and be like right behind Malcolm Floyd, and if you just threw it normally, he'd probably end up jumping it and getting a pick six or something. But if you pass lead it down, as you can see, it just makes it to where even if the defender was right here, or if he was closer up, it would be really hard for him to jump that ball and pick it off because of how low it is and just the way it's positioned. And then the other reason that I like to pass lead it down is because of the animation you see. You kind of get a really good, nice turning animation where you get upfield really quickly, especially if the defender over pursues like he did right there. He kind of didn't take a very good pursuit angle, and you were able to catch the ball and turn and get upfield. And even though Malcolm Floyd's definitely not the fastest guy ever, was still able to get a huge gain. So that's pretty much it out of this formation, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was able to help you out. A lot of these concepts can be found in a lot of different playbooks and formations, so even if you don't run this playbook or have this formation in your playbook, it can definitely carry over to other plays and other different formations, so definitely look out for that. I hope you guys enjoyed. The next video, I think, is on the Seattle playbook. I think Seattle comes after San Diego, if I'm thinking correctly, so stay tuned for that. I actually really like the Seattle book. I have some pretty good stuff out of it because I used to run it online earlier this year, so definitely look out for that. Hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, I'll see you later.